I need to borrow your car right quick.
What kind of shit is that? Most people want to borrow sugar, or even ketchup. You want to borrow my car? Hell no!
Ice Cube built a solid reputation as a serious hip-hop artist for years. However, in the early 90s, the hardcore rapper surprised everyone by shifting his focus. He aimed to make people laugh through film. Yet, behind the scenes, significant events unfolded. Whispers of creative clashes, personal disagreements, and profound losses unknown to most fans circulated. So, how did a simple desire to portray the lighter side of his community escalate into decades of conflict? And what sacrifices did those involved make to create a film that would resonate with a generation? Join us as we delve into the untold story of Friday. The comedy revolution of Friday begins. In the early 1990s, films depicting black communities in Los Angeles predominantly showcased violence and hardship. Movies like Boys in the Hood and Colors highlighted danger and strife. Ice Cube, renowned for his work with NWA and his role in Boys in the Hood, believed these narratives were incomplete. Alongside DJ Pooh, he recognized that their real-life experiences in South Central LA encompassed more than just struggle. There was also joy, strong friendships, and everyday life that these films omitted. Choosing to produce a comedy film placed Ice Cube in a difficult position with his fan base and community. He was known for impactful political music and a serious persona from albums such as America's Most Wanted and Death Certificate. Even when released the more relaxed track, It Was a Good Day, some of his own team questioned his change in direction. When news emerged of his work on a comedy, skepticism intensified. Critics began to question why someone respected for serious roles and powerful messages would venture into something light and humorous. Many viewed it as a risky move that could damage his standing. Ice Cube saw himself as a storyteller of authentic experiences through music, not merely fulfilling expectations. Hurry up, we ain't got no milk. Use water. It won't hurt. Oh man, life in South Central wasn't solely about struggle. It also included fun, laughter, and strong community bonds. That aspect of the story was equally important. Making a comedy wasn't merely about trying something new. It was an opportunity to demonstrate his broader artistic and personal capabilities. He sought to challenge the confined image that Hollywood and fans had imposed upon him. The film served as his declaration that he wasn't just the tough guy people presumed him to be. He possessed unseen talents. O'Shea Jackson was born in Los Angeles in 1969 to working-class parents. His father was a groundskeeper at UCL and his mother was a hospital clerk supporting the family. The moniker Ice Cube originated from a joke by his older brother who said he'd put O'Shea in the freezer until he became an ice cube. That nickname endured and later became emblematic in hip-hop. His interest in rap began in 9th grade during a typing class when a friend dared him to write rhymes. This moment eventually led to his meeting Dr. Dre Ice. He started performing at local parties and secured his first major break by selling a song to EAS for NWA's debut, setting the stage for a significant music career. Would the same authenticity that fueled his success in rap be sufficient to create a compelling film that genuinely captured the essence of his neighborhood? New Line changes everything. Ice Cube transitioned from writing lyrics for NWA to becoming a solo artist following a significant financial disagreement. This change provided him with valuable street experience and robust storytelling abilities which later proved beneficial when he embarked on filmmaking. Growing up in South Central Los Angeles and achieving musical fame gave him a wealth of real-life stories to draw upon. However, transforming these into a film presented an entirely new challenge. Making a movie necessitated learning new skills such as collaborating with actors and managing the intricacies of a film set. It was a considerable departure from composing rap songs in a studio. Everything is all right. I got a beat from Kim and she could do it all night. From writing lyrics to overseeing a full production, Ice Cube and DJ Pooh initially adopted a hands-on low-budget approach to launch their film. They drew inspiration from Robert Townsend, who famously financed Hollywood Shuffle utilizing multiple credit cards when traditional funding was unavailable. They also observed Kevin Smith's triumph with Clerks, which led them to realize that powerful stories didn't require substantial studio budgets. They pitched their concept as a modest comedy filmed in a single location with a limited cast to minimize costs. The script was woven from genuine experiences and individuals Ice Cube and DJ Pooh knew from their upbringing in South Central Los Angeles. Nearly every narrative element stemmed from an actual event or someone they personally knew. The scene where Craig is dismissed for allegedly pilfering boxes was based on a true incident involving Ice Cube's cousin, a delivery driver unfairly accused by his employer. DJ Pooh's past experience with selling weed influenced the character of Smokey. Other characters such as the formidable Debo and Craig's supportive father were also inspired by real people in their neighborhood. The film served as a means to bring these everyday stories to the screen. When New Line Cinema reviewed the script and recognized its potential as a hit, particularly after their success with comedies like House Party, it appeared to be the ideal solution to the team's financial loss. With studio backing, they could concentrate on filmmaking rather than monetary concerns. However, the agreement included a significant stipulation. The studio did not want DJ Pooh to portray Smokey. Stop hitting it so hard. Despite his involvement in creating the character and being the intended actor, they felt he lacked sufficient acting experience and desired a more recognizable face for the role. This unexpected demand caused a major setback. The team had to quickly find another actor for the part, and DJ Pooh accepted a smaller role as Red. This casting change became a pivotal moment that could either aid or hinder the entire project. But would his intuition to select an unknown comedian over established stars prove to be a brilliant decision or a costly error? Tucker's second chance miracle. Ice Cube and his team considered several prominent comedians for the role of Smokey, including Chris Rock and Tommy Davidson. Both possessed the fame and experience that New Line Cinema desired for such a crucial part. However, Ice Cube felt drawn to a lesser-known talent, a young comedian he had seen on Def Comedy Jam named Chris Tucker. Tucker had relocated from Atlanta to Los Angeles in 1990, pursuing his dream of a career in comedy. His boisterous, energetic style and authentic street persona aligned with Ice Cube's vision for Smokey. Tucker's raw talent and burgeoning reputation in the comedy scene made him the perfect fit to embody the character. Chris Tucker's initial audition was a disaster. What seemed like ideal casting began to unravel when he delivered a weak performance that caused everyone in the room to question Ice Cube's decision. The casting director later explained that Tucker had just completed a lengthy series of stand-up shows and was utterly exhausted. He hadn't taken the time to study the script, and it showed. The audition was so poor that it appeared Ice Cube had made a significant error. It seemed they would have to recommence the search for Smokey. Oh, goddamn, man. Look. Losing valuable time and momentum in the process. Fortunately, director Gary Gray recognized something in Chris Tucker that others missed. Despite Tucker's lackluster first audition, Gray believed he possessed genuine talent and strongly advocated for him to have another opportunity. He leveraged his reputation and influence to persuade the studio that Tucker deserved a second chance. Concurrently, Angela Means, who played Felicia, stepped in to assist. She invited Tucker to her home for dinner and dedicated time to helping him prepare for the role. This additional support proved crucial to Tucker's success in the film. Would Tucker's natural comedic instincts and improvisational ability elevate a good script into something truly extraordinary? Tucker's improvised comedy gold. When Chris Tucker joined the cast, his chemistry with Ice Cube ignited every scene they shared. Many of the film's most memorable lines were not per-written. They emerged from Tucker's quick wit and innate humor. The crew allowed him the freedom to experiment with his delivery, and this liberty resulted in moments that fans continue to quote today. One of the most renowned scenes involving Felicia was also unplanned. Angela Means made a spontaneous decision to physically interpose herself between Ice Cube and Tucker on the porch rather than simply walking up to them as the script indicated. This action perfectly suited her character and contributed to one of the film's standout moments. Chris Tucker's reaction when Angela Means sat between him and Ice Cube was genuine. He was unaware she would hat. His surprise and frustration were unplanned, but they ultimately made the scene funnier and more natural. Although the set fostered such moments, the crew maintained a strict and professional environment. The budget was under $3 million and they had only 20 days to shoot the entire movie, leaving no room for errors or delays. Act on the pastor for what? Probably smoke bud, too. How you doing, brother Craig? How you doing? Ice Cube took his role as producer seriously. Even though the characters were frequently depicted smoking weed, he remained sober during filming. He understood the necessity of staying focused to manage everything involved in making his first major movie. The film helped launch the careers of several burgeoning actors. Megan Good, only 13 at the time, played one of the neighborhood children. Michael Clark Duncan also made a brief background appearance as a craps player long before his breakthrough role in The Green Mile brought him widespread recognition. The strong chemistry among the cast and the authentic feel of the performances infused the movie with a special energy. Viewers and critics lauded the actors' collaboration and the film's honest portrayal of neighborhood life. It seemed like the beginning of a promising series, but behind the scenes, problems were beginning to emerge. Although things appeared smooth on the surface, growing tension between key individuals involved would later cause serious rifts and alter the future of what could have been a successful franchise. Would the personal and creative tensions simmering beneath the surface ultimately prove stronger than the bonds that had made the original film so special? Tucker's million-dollar departure. When Next Friday premiered in 2000, fans were astonished that Chris Tucker's popular character Smokey was absent from the film. His non-appearance prompted numerous questions and theories regarding his decision not to reprise the role that helped propel him to fame. Ice Cube later clarified that two primary reasons influenced Tucker's choice. Firstly, Tucker declined a substantial paycheck, reportedly between $10 and $12 million for the sequel. Secondly, Ice Cube stated that Tucker had become deeply religious and no longer felt comfortable portraying Smokey. Chris Tucker later elaborated on his reasons for not returning to the Friday series. "Man, that's little Chris," that he explained that the drug-related aspects of the Smokey character made him uneasy, particularly as he didn't want to send the wrong message or normalize marijuana use for young viewers. That he also shared his dislike for doing sequels. Tucker preferred working on fresh, original projects that offered new challenges rather than repeatedly playing the same type of role. John Witherspoon, who played Craig's father in the Friday movies, offered his perspective on Chris Tucker's absence from the sequel. He believed Tucker's church advisors had concerns about the drug use and other behaviors depicted in the films. "We're here between Nori and Weston. We call this here a little twin," which contributed to his decision to step away. Concurrently, Witherspoon highlighted the business aspect of the situation. Tucker was in discussions to join the Rush Hour franchise, where he would earn $20 million per movie and become a global star, a level of compensation the Friday sequels couldn't match. Witherspoon jokingly remarked that if Hura offered that kind of money, he would likely make the same choice. Witherspoon's insight revealed the practical realities behind Tucker's departure, illustrating how business opportunities and religious convictions converged to pull him away from the franchise. But was there an even deeper conflict brewing that would prove more damaging than any financial negotiation or spiritual conviction? Hidden creative ownership battle. Most people believed Chris Tucker departed the Friday series due to financial or religious reasons. However, behind the scenes, a more personal issue was escalating that ultimately proved even more significant. Faison Love, who played Big Worm and remained in contact with both Tucker and Ice recognition, slowly eroded the respect and friendship they once shared. The conflict between Ice Cube and Chris Tucker wasn't merely about money or career moves. It ran deeper. It was about who deserved credit and respect for what the film ultimately became. Ice Cube saw himself as the one who built the project from the ground up. He conceived the idea, wrote the script, and managed production. On the other hand, those close to Tucker believed his spontaneous comedy and natural timing were what transformed the movie into something special that resonated with audiences nationwide. The creative disagreements didn't end with Tucker's departure. The entire subsequent history of the Friday franchise is marked by Ice Cube's relentless struggle to maintain creative control against the backdrop of studio demands. With the immense success of the original New Line Cinema saw an easy lucrative path forward, simply recreate the winning formula. However, Ice Cube was an artist, not just a businessman. He was committed to maintaining the authentic low-budget feel that defined the first film, insisting that any sequel must genuinely reflect the reality of the community, not just a Hollywood caricature. This often put him at odds with studio executives who wanted to inflate the budgets, add more recognizable stars, and push for broader, more commercialized storylines. after next Friday, 2000 Friday after next, 2002, the gap before a fourth installment grew wider, stretching